Yeah, this to my little baby. I love waking up next to her. Ain't no better feeling in this world, you heard me?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
I love you too.
To you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yo, what's going on with your family? How everything going today? Let's see. Hey, we back on the ugly truth. We got Miss Dawn back in the building again. Hey, I want to speak on something just a little different, man. What is the black churches teaching us anymore, man? What do they teach us on sex? What are they preparing us for? And what did they do with the building fund money, huh? Can y'all please tell us what they did with the building fund money?
I thought it was for the community.
I thought it was too.
I thought if one of us, belonged to the congregation and we had problems with our light bill or our rent, then we went to the church fund and they were to help. That's what I thought.
I thought they were supposed to be building the building. I went by my old church about 30 years ago, and they ain't.
No, they're not building no.
They ain't got no building, and I know we was up to about 30 bands. I want to know what they did with the money, man. What did they do with the money?
Have you seen all the churches lately?
They're huge.
Creflo's, TD's, Joel, and I love them. I love TD. I love Joel, but I just don't understand why we're spending so much instead of giving to the community. That's what I thought we were supposed to do.
That's what I thought too, man. I'm gonna have a church one day. Not yet. I still got some thugging in my system to get out of. Once it's all gone, I don't think it'll never all be gone, but once it's gone, then y'all probably gonna hear me speak that talk. But I was just doing some research and some thinking on how most of the black churches is like 65% women, and why the men not going is because they putting everything. In my opinion, they putting everything on the man. Like, we got to do everything. But if the women not listening, I don't know what we supposed to do. And they are preparing these women for failure. They're telling them that this is awesome man out there specifically for them, and ain't none of that biblical. I ain't seen no specific great man that they saying. I don't know where he is. Maybe you do.
You know what the problem is? It's the fairy tales. They're telling us fairy tales.
Preach.
And so we're believing it. I believed in Cinderella. I believed in Snow White. I felt that I could be that princess that lay there until the prince came and gave me the magical kiss. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as happily ever after. It's happily ever now. It's what's going on now.
Y'all hear that? So y'all been told to a lie. It's a book I want y'all to read, and this is a part of my book that's coming out. But it's a suggested reading, which is by Miss Ali, and it's called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And it's very deep. It touched on what's been going on, but it dropped in the 90s, and it's just very prevalent right now as far as what's going on in our community, how they use welfare to get the man out the house, how important the man is in the house, and all these different things. So I've seen personally how the church has told all these women that it's going to be this great knight in shining armor and come get them, and that's not the case. Relationships are built. They're not, you just don't go into it on day one and that person is who you think they're going to be and she is who you think they're going to be. You just got to have a foundation. And by that's another reason why the single rates is going up, because women in their mind are thinking that God going to send them this amazing man. And God can send you a man and knock on the door and say, I come from God, I come from the Lord, and a woman to send him away. That's not what I prayed for. So I think a lot of y'all prayers is off too.
Well, you got to be explicit. You got to ask exactly. Like, you can't leave nothing. You can't say, God, send me a good man, because he'll send you a good man and he don't have a job, but he was a damn good man. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So you got to be real explicit in what you're praying for. I need a good man with a good job. He's a good provider. He's not a liar, not a cheater. You got to tell everything.
What about praying for a man that praying to ask God, what kind of man do I need versus the kind of man that I want?
Right. Really, I wouldn't even pray for the man. What I would do is say, Lord Father, give me the man you would like to see me with, because then he'll send you somebody in his image. But see, a lot of us don't ask for that.
Was any of that taught in the household though? Because I feel like it's supposed to start in the household. It's supposed to start with mom and dad teaching us that and teaching us, beyond just the birds and the bees and letting us know the consequences of going out here. Because to me, again, like we spoke the other day, was I think the consequences is harder on women having sex than men because they're usually stuck with the baby. They're
Right.
usually stuck
All the
with the
responsibilities.
emotional attachments and things of that.
Yes.
And instead of just saying, "Nah, I have sex," I tell, I tell a real truth. My niece, they know I very huge part of her life. And they're like, "Ed, the stuff that you be saying, would you tell your daughter or your niece?" I said, "Yes." I said, "You may not be the only one, but be the favorite. This is just how the world is set up. Like, I'm not finna tell you finna go get this great guy out here, sweetheart. I don't care how good you are. You're not finna. If you do get him, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. But if you want to live in the real world, you might be the favorite. You might not be the only one." And I wanted to really touch on where in the Bible do it say that you can't have more than one wife?
It doesn't, because all of them had more than one wife back in the day. I think King James changed that. I think with his version of the Bible, he wanted all the fair maidens for himself. Why should Joseph and Matthew and all them have more than one wife when I could have all the fair maidens?
And this is what I ask. You ask somebody, do God make mistakes? They'll say no.
Right.
So if it's 7 million women and 5 million men, what do God want them other 2 million women to do?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So now I'm going to tell you what I believe. God said that we were made in his likeness, right? And in his image, right? Do you really think God was a cheater? Do you really think God, like most men, if they get a paper cut, oh man, you just shut them down. They can't handle a paper cut. But women, we give birth. You see where I'm going? So I really believe God is a woman. And I believe she's a black woman. That's what I believe. No. This one. Yes, ladies, yes. God is a woman. God is a woman. Because the other thing is, what you got to remember is everything is male or female, right? Karma is karma. If it was for a male, it'd be karmo or karm. But it's karma. Mother Nature is Mother Nature. Why aren't they saying Father Nature? See what I'm saying? So I think it all goes hand in hand.
I feel like if just reading and he's saying his likeness, I think he got both roles. I don't think he's an actual person.
No, I don't
think
think
he's
he's a
more of
person.
a spirit, so he has the feminine and the masculinity, and I think he got
But no
us both.
weaknesses.
Yeah,
And I
of
think
course,
men
no
have
weaknesses.
more weaknesses than women do. I think women, even in the animal kingdom.
You mean
the
physically?
Woman, no. We're not as strong as men, never. But what I'm saying is
Emotionally?
mentally, emotionally, we are stronger than men.
Now, how would you break and define that? And y'all are the most outrageous, unstable creatures on earth when
no,
y'all don't get
sir.
your way.
No, sir.
Y'all
No, sir.
slash tires,
No,
bust
sir.
Windows,
Wait,
child
wait.
support. Y'all
Okay.
paying
But
kids
hang
on
hang
men that ain't
But hang on.
theirs.
But see, you gotta put that on those that are doing that. Okay, those are few and in between. Okay,
Y'all can't be stable because y'all have cycles. So y'all emotions are up and down. That's why I don't agree with no
That's a
woman
cleansing.
president.
what you don't
I
think
don't
that
agree.
either?
Nah, I listen. I love
I don't think
women.
we'd have a war. I think
no.
wars
I think
would be gone.
and that's the problem. We would get attacked and get bombed on because she'd be so heartfelt. Like, no, I don't want to hurt nobody. Then they'll be bombing us. You see what I'm saying? Then her emotions would be up and down every day. See, men know how to put their emotions to the side and handle business.
Yeah, but wait a minute. When we've had Cleopatra and we had Nefertiti, they ran kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? So, and really, Cleopatra,
just named-
Cleopatra was the demise of so many empires of men.
But Cleopatra took over empire. She didn't
Right.
run it. She finessed her way into the empire and took
them.
it down.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't think they're stable. There's nowhere in history where the woman is designed to run the hierarchy of the community, to take on that responsibility and hold that on her shoulders.
I don't know.
You don't think so? Yeah. So you already said that you prefer to have the jacket laid out for the puddles,
Right.
the door open.
I believe
and
in
those
chivalry.
things.
Yes, I believe in that.
So you want chivalry in leadership?
No. That's what I'm saying. So I'm a girly girl. My favorite color is pink. I love ruffles and you have to be a real strong man to wear pink.
My favorite color is pink at night when the lights is on and off too. So I'm with you.
Okay. So yes, I still believe that, that a man should be the head, okay? And that's just from how I was raised. My father was a true provider. He was a true king of his castle, okay? He was a doctor. And but I find that back in the day, his way of thinking wasn't right.
What was his way of thinking? Because we gonna stay on the topic of should men have more than one wife, and is the church lying or
I do
telling the
believe
truth?
so. I do believe they should have. I believe a man. Okay. Just speaking for myself, I'll give my husband one woman a year. We've been together 37 years. Okay, 38
Okay.
years. So he's had 38 little
Women that you
affairs.
know about.
Okay. So with that being said, I believe that because of our DNA of how God created everything, I think He created man to need many women. One woman could bear children. One woman could cook. One woman could do in the field. One woman could.
So what happened in this Western culture where
King
a woman
James.
wants? Okay, so King James.
I think King
because
James took it away because he wanted the extra women.
because if you look at it, all the greats in the Bible, from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, all of them had multiple wives.
All of
David
them.
had 5
That's
wives.
right. That's right.
And the fact I heard Game say something, he wanted to know how many women Solomon had.
A bunch.
Solomon had 700 wives.
Right.
And let me put you on some game. Back then, them was 700 virgins. He was the first one to get all 700.
That's right.
He had 300 concubines.
Right.
My bad. Game has said, when did Jesus start his ministry? Jesus started his ministry at 30 and for 33. So they was just speaking on legendary shit I just wanted to touch on. To me, legendary is impact. It ain't about how much you sell, how much you do, whatever. It's about the impact. When you leave Earth, how big is your impact? And I think that's what folk got to look more at and live their lives. I was, that was just something, just a simple topic I was just been thinking about. Like, what is the churches doing with all this money? What communities, what centers are they building? What economics structure are they putting inside of the church? Because life is a pyramid, and I think everybody should work their way up rather than just, I think they've been selling black people hope since Martin Luther King died.
Yeah.
Like, no real tangible nothing, when it really should be communities. And I know they say, oh, God don't see black and white. Then why do he make us all different colors and shades and cultures and things like that if he wanted us all just to be together? No. Like, you got this chair, it got metal on it, it got leather on it, it got like, we can't just be all together. Everybody can't just be one. We could be on one accord, though. But
we're all brothers and sisters. I don't care what we all look like. If he created us as a family.
Okay.
Okay? So with that being said, then it's just like I can talk about just my family, okay? In my family, some of us wanted to be different than what we were, okay? That's how I became the black sheep, because they could pass for white, I couldn't pass, okay? So with that being said, the black sheep is then left out, okay? Because
why do you feel like the black sheep? Because I hear that. Why do you feel like? Was you really acting like a black sheep, or was you a black sheep? Or did they label you a black sheep?
They labeled me a black sheep. They actually labeled me ghetto. Do I talk ghetto to you? No.
No.
Okay. But anyway, that's what they actually said. They said I was too ghetto. I was the ghetto one. We lived in all white neighborhoods. My dad was in the military. This was back in 1960. So I was the black sheep because I wanted to know where were the people that looked like me.
Mulatto.
I was tired of seeing all whites every place we went. I was tired of being called a nigger every place we went. My brother and my sister didn't get called because my brother was light-skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes. My sister was in between me and my brother. I'm the darkest. And I felt like I was the darkest.
You the darkest. They pale as hell.
Yeah, I'm the darkest. And so anyway, so I was labeled it, but then I acted like it, So I wanted to see, well, show me where the blacks are. My dad took me to Harlem. What? We don't have no rich blacks? Why would you take me to Harlem? Why would you take me
to Harlem? Because Harlem was affluent at one time.
Oh, shit, not when I went. I was about 10 years old, 11, so it had to be in 1970, 72. And he took me to the subway of Harlem. And they had people.
Because that's when you had Nicky Barnes, Frank Lucas, and all them. Harlem. Well, you know what? You're right. It was tore up, and they was running the drugs there back then. Yeah. So they might have tore it down by then. But Harlem used to be popping back then. So So, in your opinion, every man he should be able to have more than one wife. How do we change the culture? Because the number one problem, people say they leave for infidelity. How do we change the mindset?
There wouldn't be any infidelity. There would be no more cheating
If what?
if they were allowed to have more than one wife, like in the Bible. So I believe when God took the rib to make Eve, he took the man's sensitive rib. That's why the man's callous and cold. And he gave it to us, which makes us overly sensitive. We're too sensitive. Okay?
Facts.
Right. So with that being said, I think that was when God knew the separation was going to come. He knew that King James was going to do what he did. And so that, I just think that God would never make a mistake. So I don't believe he ever made a mistake. But I just feel like it was their perception of the Bible.
Right, because you got to think, if a man had like 2-3 wives, and they
You
was
get
all
a lot
handling
more
business,
accomplished.
you would get a whole lot
Sure
more
would,
accomplished.
and it's a
You would
team. It's called a village. Why do you think they used to say it takes a village to raise the children? It did. It did, because there might have been one mother who didn't have she was too stressed, so she couldn't teach her kids. So the other mothers, they all got along. The kids all got along as brothers and sisters. I think it was a bigger and better world. Yeah. And I also think it would apply more to now. We have polyamorous. You have heterosexual. We have the gays. We have.
I don't believe in y'all, by the way. We don't support the LBGT community on this program. So if y'all don't like me, y'all could tune off.
That's not.
She sound like my mom. That's not nice. God loves everybody. The Lord said it's an abomination. And it's cool. Y'all can sleep with who y'all want. Just don't shove it down nobody else's throat. Yeah. I ain't got nothing to do with
put it on the kids.
Who you have sexual commitments to and any of that. Why do we need to know what you're doing behind closed doors? Because if you like another man and y'all cool, that's cool. If you like another woman and y'all cool, that's cool. Why do I need to know that y'all having sexual relations? See, that's demonic. See, that's another thing in the Bible. God says it's abomination. What do everybody else say? Oh, well, he loves them.
But hold on. So is fornication. We're not supposed to be having sex before we get married.
Fornication is a sin.
That's
Being
right.
gay is an abomination.
Okay.
There's a difference.
But sin or abomination still means you're gone.
It's against nature. Abomination is just going all the way super left. Fornication is before its time. Like, that's before its time. Like, you shouldn't do it before this type time.
Before you got married.
Abomination is something that shouldn't be done ever.
Okay, and I understand that. But they still have the power of repenting. And as long as they repent and don't do it again.
I mean, that's cool, but they're pushing it as a culture. What if we was pushing Jack Boys as a culture? We're the robbers. We're going to run around robbing, which was basically like the mob. We shunned the mob. Why we don't shun the gays? Because if everybody was gay, who going to create the children?
That's true.
So why
There's
do we?
no hope for the children.
And it's not an individual thing as far as hate them as individuals, but as a community, I just don't agree with them. Like, I'm cool on what they represent and all that old goofy shit. And some people scared them because they run so much shit in Hollywood, so much shit in the music industry. Don't nobody say that, like, oh, I ain't messing with them. I honestly don't care because I get money so many different ways. They couldn't stop me if they tried to. I don't hate them. And this is what they say, like, oh, I can say, oh, I got a gay cousin. That don't mean that I like them.
Right.
That just means I like my little gay-ass cousin who don't act gay around me.
Right.
He act like a man when he around me. I don't know what he do outside closed doors. So it's not like I hate you from afar. I don't agree with what you do. And I'm allowed to say I don't agree. Just like I can say I don't like steak. Why are they putting it out that if you say you don't like gays, you're a hater and it's what's the word that they use? It's a hate crime and all that old goofy shit. I don't agree with their lifestyle, just like you may not agree with a serial killer's lifestyle. You may not agree with a pedophile's lifestyle.
Right.
It's some legal shit you may not agree with. You may not agree with the tax law. You dig what I'm saying? So I just feel like they trying to shut down freedom of speech to say what we gotta like. Now, as an individual, no, I don't have to be mean and rude or any of that to them. But I also don't have to like them. Like when I go out to eat, my mom hate going out to eat with me because if it's a fag that served me, I ask for another waiter. And sometimes they'll be like, well, we ain't got no one. I'll leave. I'm straight. I don't want that spirit around me. You confused. To me, it's a mental disorder It's like two sockets, bro. Like if you put two sockets together, there's no power. If you
Right.
put two outlets together, there's no power. Like what in the world? Why are we even having a conversation about this? And the reason why I talk about it because they pushing it on the kids,
Right.
and talking about sex change and all this retarded shit.
Right. Now that part I don't agree with because I think a child up to the age of 14 has no mind of their own. They're still under a parent's mind. At 15 and up, then they can think for themselves. But they're still kids, so a lot of the way that they process stuff is not okay. Just like the kids that just got in trouble for killing the old lady, two 15-year-olds, a 17 and an 18 in New Orleans. The two 15-year-olds just went along. They didn't know where they were going. The two older
So
ones
they
said,
got accessory to murder.
right. And they're going to try them as adults. They're only 15 years old.
They must be black.
They are, all four of them. But the two older ones did it. The one boy stole the old lady's car, and the 17-year-old, she's the one who hit the old lady to push her out the car. But when she shut the door, the old lady's arm got stuck in the door. So they drove her like 2 blocks down until her arm ripped off and she bled to death.
Oh shit.
Right. So, but the two 15-year-olds in the back seat were screaming. They were screaming because they had no idea what they were getting. They just said, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" Yeah. What? Little kids have gas.
That's
on their
another
chest.
segment we're gonna touch in because we touch on law, and I tell y'all if the police pull you over, turn your lights on, roll all your windows down. You dig what I'm saying? Don't argue with them folk. Them
Do
folk
not.
is not the judge and the jury. Just make it home. Even if you gotta go to jail, just go to jail. Don't argue with them folk, man. You gotta think they human, man. Most of them niggas ain't getting no pussy in school. Them the niggas we probably bullied in school. You gotta be a fucked up individual to wake up and want to go fuck with people all day that ain't doing nothing. Like I can see if you like stopping like murders and crime. Most of the time, by the time the police get there, whatever's done is got done, and they just enhancing the situation and making it worse. So, I don't like the police native, but I'm gonna give y'all some game on how to defend yourself as far as in court and stuff like that. The real laws. So the law that I got down at the state right now is called Justice for All, and it's being judged by your peers, and we're not being judged by our peers.
We're not.
So what I'm saying is it got to be, one, it has to be your ethnicity. 6 jurors. If you're getting judged, so let me let y'all know, if you're on a misdemeanor case, it's 6 jurors. If you're on a felony case, it's 12 jurors. So I'm saying half the jury got to be your ethnicity within 10 years of your age and within $15,000 of your income. Because a white man in Buckhead ain't got no reason being over here judging a little boy on Bankhead.
Should not.
And as black people, I don't think they think we're going to judge fair, but we don't want the killers and robbers next to us neither. So if he raped somebody, we're going to convict him also.
Yeah, exactly.
So y'all definitely need to go when that bill come around. It's called Justice for All, that we get judged by our peers, and it's $100,000 or less only 1 year. My little brother got 6 years for a chance to make like $4,500 to $6,500. They caught him with like 2 and a baby. If you're in the streets, you know what it is. And they gave him 6 years, and I did the math. Basically, his life was worth $821 a year for selling some drugs that people wanted. The same shit Walmart do, the same shit CVS do. It ain't nothing but a drug that somebody want. And the legal drugs is tearing the community up more than the actual illegal drugs.
Right.
And anybody that's fighting a dope charge, if they got you with a controlled substance, my encouragement is find a lawyer that understands that crack is not a controlled substance. A controlled substance was manufactured inside of a lab. When you have crack, it's not a controlled substance. It's an uncontrolled substance. So you charge wrong, you should be able to get it thrown out. So when y'all watching this, man, and we speak this loud shit, man, make sure that y'all go pick up on that law and tap in with me, DM me for more information on that. But we're going to have a whole segment on law, man, because even if you riding with a gun, break your gun down, take the clip out of it, take the hammer off of it. Now you'll be charged with improper handling of a firearm, which is a misdemeanor, rather than carrying a concealed weapon, which is a felony, which serve 5 years. If your gun is in there and it's broke down, ain't nothing they could do. It was a parked gun. You did just small things like that. I'm not encouraging violence or any of that, but it's certain areas where you're gonna have to carry your gun at, and if you get pulled over, just go on and break that bitch apart and put it in separate parts of the car if you already know what's happening, rather than stuffing it under the seat. They gonna find it.
They just passed a law 2 days ago. They passed a bill
That you can carry.
and you don't have to have, as long as it was bought by you for you.
You don't have to have your carry permit.
And you don't have
more.
to have a license.
But you got felons, which is crazy because they don't allow you to vote or anything like that. But felons aren't allowed. So if he catch a felony, if he catch a drug charge, now he's not able to defend his home. So he's not allowed to have a gun. So all those who are felons riding with guns, you get caught with it, the way not to get the same charge. Break that bitch down, know how to take the hammer off that bitch, get the clip up out of there, spit them bullets out. They could find a broken apart gun all over it better than finding a regular gun that's on you if you get stopped. So just some small tips for y'all to stay out of jail. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we ain't gonna hold y'all too long today. I just wanted to speak on what these black churches was doing, if they doing anything good for us, if they doing anything bad. I was just really wanting to know what they doing with that building fund money.
Buying a helicopter or an airplane is not good for the people because it doesn't hold all of us. It only holds a couple. So I think if they're buying a helicopter or airplane, no, that's wrong.
The last thing before we wrap up that I say, man, is ladies, you're a wife before you get married. So God say he who finds a wife finds a good thing. He never said who finds a girlfriend, who finds a female nor a woman. That means you're already a wife. A car is a car before it's bought. It's just an unpurchased car. A woman that's a wife is already a wife before she's getting engaged or anything like that. So making you valuable, you should already be a wife before you get married. It's a title that you're looking for, but you should already be that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just some tidbit juice for y'all
And
young
act like
ladies.
it. Act like
That's
it.
the whole thing. They were raised
like
to
it.
be wives.
act
They were
like it.
raised to cook, raised to clean, ready to bear children, ready to look after their household and help the empire blow up and things of that
And
nature.
stand behind and push your man up.
Yeah, so that's my thing of being in your natural state. I don't mind going out for 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day to work to bring the bacon home, even though I don't eat pork. To bring the bread home to make the family grow. And so that's what this show about. This show about just bringing back solutions to build the community. If you ain't on what we on, the ladies who just don't believe what we believe, we call y'all contaminated. You know, y'all hazmat. You know, hazmat is toxic. Ain't no helping, ain't no saving y'all. To the young ladies who actually want to do something and be something in life, if you don't agree with your mother's outcome, do the exact opposite shit she did and you'll be all right. You heard? Remember, man, stay logged in. Stay logged into us, man. You can always book a party bus when you're in Atlanta at Trap Tours of Atlanta. If you want to know how to rehab houses, the email is below the playbook, so you can know how to run the plays, how to get the money without having a lot of money, you dig, how to wholesale houses, how to rehab houses, how to flip houses, all of those things is in there. And Miss Dawn got some leashes for y'all.
Also, and I'm a life coach, so if you need to talk, if anybody needs to talk, you can call me at 678-323-6707. I'll answer anytime.
We appreciate y'all tuning in to The Ugly Truth. We appreciate y'all tuning in to The Ugly Truth. This is the King signing off. Oh, boy. Yeah. This to my little baby. I love waking up next to her. Ain't no better feeling in this world, you heard me?
Good morning.